Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. Been doing a lot of videos on Samsung's latest releases, but let's shift for just a second over to Apple with the new MacBook Air in that new midnight color. I didn't get it at launch because I wanted an upgrade. I've got the 16 gig, 1 terabyte SSD MacBook Air. Anyways, we are going to unbox the M2 MacBook Air, see what comes inside, including that new charger, check out that new color and design of the MacBook Air. Let's get started. Here is the new M2 MacBook Air from Apple. Very simple look at the box. And there's our information. Sorry, I'm just blocking out some of the left information, but 16 gigs, 1 terabyte SSD, 13.6 inch MacBook Air. Now, let's take off the shrink wrap very quickly and see what we get in the box. First thing in the box is our midnight color MacBook Air. Very light, definitely lighter than my MacBook Pro that I have. Setting this to the side for just a second. Designed by Apple in California. Standard booklets like a getting started guide, information, and you get 2 Apple stickers, same color as whatever MacBook you get. You also get a new charging brick. Now this is a 35 watt dual USB Type-C port. And you'll notice it's actually very small at 35 watts. It does hide the prongs, very flat, where you actually put it into the wall. But it's nice to have 2 USB Type-C ports. Now if only iPhones actually had USB Type-C port, that's another conversation. But onto our MagSafe charging cable. Really, really neat styling, matching the color of the actual laptop. Now for me, I don't necessarily need MagSafe. I would have totally been fine. It's a nice little feature, but USB-C to USB-C is great because then I can connect it to other devices that I have, whereas this one is only specifically for the laptop, so I prefer to just carry a brick with a USB-C to C charging cable because you can also charge the laptop via the USB-C ports. And I know I'm probably in the minority to that MagSafe take. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. It's really nice to charge with it, but I just kind of leave it at home when I'm traveling quite a bit. I just don't even bring the MagSafe cable with me because it's not going to charge other devices. I like to just have one cable, one brick if I can possibly do so, just to carry just less items while I'm traveling. But anyways, on to our midnight color MacBook Air. Really sleek. I do like it a lot. It's very unique. It's just a new color that I do like. I'm noticing it will get fingerprints on it probably fairly easily, but let's take a closer look at the hardware of the MacBook Air. On the left side, we have our MagSafe charging port, 2 USB Type-C ports. Man, it's kind of crazy how thin this laptop actually is. Moving along, there's the slot to open the lid, and then along the right side is only a headphone jack. I kind of wish they had another USB Type-C port, maybe 2. That would be nice, but again, they're trying to keep it very thin. And a close-up of the back of the MacBook Air. Now, down towards the bottom, you do have these grips on all 4 corners so it doesn't slide around. You've got some text here designed by Apple in California, but that's just about it for the bottom. And don't forget your Apple logo right in the center, very reflective. All right, like I do in all of my laptop videos, let's do the one-handed opening test. And as expected, this actually opened up right away, very easily with one hand. Had that old school boot up sound. We are booting up now. While it does so, let's take a look. That's a very large trackpad on a laptop this size. Apple's trackpads are pretty unmatched. I do really like the way it feels when you press on it. Anyways, let's check out that keyboard. It does have shortcuts up towards the top of that row. Obviously, no number pad, a little bit too small for that. Also want to make note that power button has a fingerprint scanner embedded in it, so we will get that all set up. But our MacBook Air is ready to go. Let's run through the setup process. I'll talk about anything that's noteworthy. During the setup process, you can change the appearance, light or dark mode. I do like dark mode quite a bit, but there are some times I think light mode is better. So sometimes I turn it on auto or just kind of customize it on my own. I'm going to turn it on auto for now. Setting up that fingerprint scanner, very simple. I've had no issues with any of the previous built-in fingerprint scanners into this power button. The setup process is also very quick. Touch ID is all ready to go, and it brings us to our home screen. Here we are. It does have that notch up towards the top, which was introduced in previous models. I would have liked to have seen them kind of slim down the bezels just a little bit since it's a newer model. Hopefully in future models that's the case. Hopefully they just eventually eliminate this notch altogether. And here's a quick comparison next to my 14-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. Actually, now that I look at it, I was wondering, these bezels seem kind of big because they're a little bit bigger than the MacBook Pros, at least from this 14-inch model MacBook Pro. So this screen looks a little bit sleeker. This one has a little bit thicker of bezels, but this MacBook Air is noticeably smaller. While sitting on the desk, you'll notice the Pro raised up a decent amount more than the MacBook Air, and a side-by-side comparison of the size. Obviously with the MacBook Pro, you get an SD card slot, you get an HDMI port, an extra USB Type-C port as well. But it does add a little bit extra thickness, I should say. Plus you get the cooling with a fan from the MacBook Pro. So there are upsides, downsides to having a larger laptop. This obviously being the M2 chip. Next up, wanted to do a quick typing test. I really like that animation, opening the lid, how it just slowly lights up. Seems just very premium. Here we go. Very satisfying to type on. I do like the travel, the feedback that you get. Nothing crazy, but that trackpad is definitely something that I really, really do like using. Let's put this to sleep and do a quick test with that fingerprint scanner. With the MacBook Air asleep, and we are on that lock screen. Let's set our finger down. Right away unlocks it. Like I said, I've had no issues with this fingerprint scanner. It has worked very well. Overall though, that's everything I want to talk about for now with the new M2 MacBook Air. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about this updated laptop. I really like this color. It's sleek. Again, maybe it will collect a decent amount of fingerprints, which might be a downside. I'll talk more about that later on, but very nice to see their M2 chip coming along. I'm excited to test that out, do some video editing on this laptop. But anyways, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Obviously, you've got our new dual USB Type-C charging cable with that MagSafe on the side. It is really convenient, I will admit. It's very convenient having that magnet just lock on to where that charging is. It doesn't really take as much effort, but just, again, to me, I don't necessarily need to bring an extra cable with me. But here we go. That would be our MacBook Air. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, you can also see those fingerprint smudges going on right now. So, again, might be a little bit of a downside for you if that's something you care about. Anyways, thanks for watching.